Hi, I'm Sophie.
Hi, I'm Paul.
And we are SP film viewers.
And today's film that Sophie's watched is Borat, or the other title of this film is Cultural Learnings of American for Make Benefit Glorious Nation of Kazakhstan.
Cultural learning?
Yeah.
Can they even use that in the same sentence as Borat?
It's on the DVD box and the posters. But obviously no one refers to that, but that's just like a ridiculous...
Trying to be humorous, yeah?
Yeah. Back in 2006 is when the film came out. Quite a short film though, which I didn't actually really notice until I looked at the back.
I'm glad it wasn't any longer. if I'm honest.
80 minutes long, so...
It's still long enough.
And the character actually thinking about it was actually more... It was featured on a sketch show in the first place before it had this film release.
People have had to suffer twice.
Yeah, but obviously it was popular enough character.
I
never saw the TV show, so I don't...
No, we're not even going to watch it.
No, I'm not saying we are. I'm just saying. I'm just stating the fact that
we're not.
That I haven't seen the.
It'll be something you'll be watching on your own.
No, I watched the clip on YouTube. It's not as because it's on such much of a low budget.
Well, I think to be honest, it looks like a low budget film. Anyways, I don't even know what the budget is for this film, but it looks shoddy.
Again, that's meant to...
I know that's what it's meant to look like, but there's looking like it and pretending and it actually being, and it's more likely that it actually is, and they've just gotten away saying, oh, we're being artsy and pretending we're handheld and filming our own documentary and we want that style, and it's like, actually no, it's just because it's a crap film with a low budget and should have never been done.
And from what you gather, the storyline...
It's not really a storyline. I didn't actually get what was going on until maybe halfway through when I realised that he's actually trying to go to America. So I realised he's in America, but why he was there, I wasn't 100% sure on what he was doing.
Cultural learnings of American.
To bring it back to Kazakhstan.
Yeah.
What did he learn? Not to kiss people, because Americans don't like it. Not to be rude. I don't know. I don't even think that person that is the character they've made could be a person.
By that, do you mean...
Nobody in their right mind would be like him. It's just, there's no person out there.
That's... Yes, I know, but this is a character in the film. You got to realise this isn't a real life, actual documentary where this is actual factual.
Like, the only thing that was actually funny about the film, there was two things. Like, people's reactions were funny because they seemed genuine.
That's always the best thing, when you're seeing people do that in these comedy shows and things. So.
But the worst thing is, he wasn't even the funny part about it. He's the main character. And I found it funnier, like, somebody giving him a bad response than his actual acting or his efforts. Is like, what does that say about the film? If I'm not even thinking he's funny, I'm just thinking how somebody reacts to him is funny.
I feel that's what most people do find funny. It's the reaction of other people rather than because of what he's coming out is so outrageous or weird or wacky. It's not like laughing.
Not laughing at him. But laughing at how people would react at him, which that did work, I guess. But there were parts of it where I know personally for me, when you're watching it, you're thinking, could this get any ridiculous? Like, I don't like stupid comedy. I'm not a big fan of it. And you think I don't have a funny bone because I don't laugh. Like, I didn't really laugh at all through this. Like, if you were going to do Try Not to Laugh challenge and you put that on, I would win, hands down. I think I chuckled once, and that was just like the escalator thing because I thought that was funny because he didn't know how to come down an escalator. To say that that's the only bit of the 80 minutes we watched.
There wasn't nothing else?
No. There were two moments where I absolutely hated the film, and it was like, oh, please fast forward. I cannot cope with how ridiculous this is getting now. And cringe moments. I hate it when a film makes you cringe.
What were those two moments then?
So, the first one was when I don't even know why he's there in the antique shop. And then he decides to knock everything over. And it's like, Okay, fair enough, break one thing, maybe two, but the whole entire shop, now that's unrealistic and it's not true. No one in the right mind, no human, would do that. They wouldn't. It's just not plausible that that would happen. It's like a cartoon scene. And that's fine if it was a cartoon, but it's not. It's a real human. It's just so cringy. And it's like, oh my God, are you joking me? Another plate. And then he knocks all the other things off. And it's like, really? It's not going to happen.
Yeah, I think, you have this thing where you can't separate, if it's a real person, you can't separate that from an exaggeration character.
But there's exaggerating and then there's over-exaggerating, where he near enough might as well have ripped the whole antique shop apart. It's not like a bull in a china shop, is he? He literally just stumbled and it's like, oh, and then fall into this. And it's like, it's not even falling properly. It's just like, I'll just roll my body into the whole antique shop. It's like, it's not right. And then the other scene, which I couldn't watch half of it because it was like, oh, this is actually disgusting now. This is making me feel a bit sick. I don't even know what to describe the scene as. Oh, I do. Baywatch. So you had this crush on this...
Yeah, Pamela Anderson. CJ is the character's name.
You ever watched Baywatch? Because I've never seen it.
No, it's just one of those things I know about.
So he has this crush on her from watching one programme and he's in love with her. And his friend finds this magazine, is it? Then, I don't really want to explain the scene, if I'm honest.
Okay, so basically it's the bit where they're running around the hotel naked. Having
but there's some scenes where it looks so inappropriately wrong. And
I think that's what I was going for.
Like...
Doing
the little...
sexual positions, yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of almost, yeah.
And neither one of them you'd want to see naked. It was like, they're both cringeworthy naked. And then the positions, and the one where that man was sat on his face, his friend. That's just, nobody in the right mind does that.
It's more shock value.
So you've got this stupid scene where they're running around naked and they're getting all the body parts intertwined in all these wrong positions for the fact of that they were arguing over this magazine like two teenage boys because obviously his friend decided to... Well...
That wasn't the reason he was going... Really, when he said to him in the scuffle, when it's like, oh, that's my magazine, because the reason we're going to California is because of her, and that's why he's... All the situations that happened prior to that, we almost bankrupting him and stuff, and taking this on these excursions. So then he's like, oh my God, why did you...
Yeah, but Borat's problem was the fact of his friend pinching his girl and his magazine.
Yeah.
That was what Borat's issue was. So he's the teenager saying, you've taken my magazine and being really petty and then running around this hotel naked. I was like, when will this scene actually end? That's what I was thinking. And I'm glad he was left on his own. If I was his friend, I'd have left him. I wouldn't have been his friend in the first place, but I would have definitely left him.
Yeah.
I just don't think anyone should waste 80 minutes of their life. Unless you're a teenage boy and you like stuff like that. Maybe when you were a teenager you thought it was hilarious.
I know I did laugh at some, but I didn't laughing my head off, but I know it was...
But how many times did you laugh last night?
Yeah, seeing in a different light.
I don't think it helps that I was sat next to you, stone cold faced, looking, thinking I'm not really impressed at all. Maybe that depends on who you're with when you watch it.
Partly, but yeah, on reflection I've seen it a few times, obviously since I was young as well, so in between now, but I haven't seen this one in a while, and...
How many is there?
What do you mean?
I haven't seen this one in a while, is it?
No, as in just referring to this film.
Right, okay.
Yeah, I didn't mean it was like a Borat.
God, don't tell me this. No. So, there was another bit that I remember. That's the only bit, if you asked me, you haven't seen Borat, what's it about? And I'd be like, well, I don't really want to see it because it's just this lanky man in this... I don't really know what you call him. It's a green... Mankini, is that the word? And I'm like, no, already. And I thought that was the front cover as well. Like, there was him...
They wouldn't have got away with that.
On the front cover with it. And that's the only bit I know about the film that I don't know why I know it.
You've probably seen a Google image of it or something. But
yeah, but that is literally it. So I thought he was like literally walking around in this for like the near enough the 100% of the film in my head. Literally, if you blink, you miss that scene. It's like it was like a second long. That was it. And it's like, why? What was the purpose of that? And it would be so iconic now.
What would be iconic?
That is like the iconic kind of like if somebody thought of Borat, they straight away think of him in that mankini, in the lime green mankini, and it's like, but it's not. What relevance does it have to the film? It's not even in the film for that long.
No, it's just a funny little bit, like I say.
It's not even that funny, and it's not. No.
Cringe funny is what it's going for.
I was just sat there looking, thinking, well, that's a waste of time. He's put that on. For what reason? It's literally probably taking him longer to put it on than actually film that scene.
Probably, yeah.
So who's in the right mind thought, oh, I know, cracking idea here. Get him in that. Was he like bathing in like near like a muddy bank or something?
In Kazakhstan, yeah.
It looked... And it's like, well, no one in the right mind would want to do that. I don't know what Kazakhstan's like, but...
No, I don't either.
But I'd assume people won't be doing that. Not in that outfit anyways. So, well, other scenes, like obviously the scene where he actually meets Pamela Anderson.
Yeah, the sign at the end.
That was a bit funny. That was like probably maybe the second funny part, apart from the escalator.
She was definitely in on.
Oh yeah, you can't just go up and kidnap her. That wouldn't work, would it?
No.
She had to. I bet she got paid as well more than he did.
Some of the budget of the thing, yeah.
Mm. So yeah, so he nicks Pamela Anderson to marry her. So basically, he kind of gets this marriage thing, and it's like a bag
sack that he's knitted, or like crocheted or something.
Well, I can't imagine him crocheting or knitting, to be honest.
I must have got it from somewhere because he did say at the date and.
Maybe he just got it personalised. And then he tries to fit her in the sack. Which is quite hilarious, actually. That is quite funny. Mainly because of her reaction and then running away. And it's like, actually, this might actually happen. That might be more realistic than some of the other scenes where this person does, like, get quite obsessed with, like, somebody famous and wants to pinch them in a sack. That could happen.
Yeah, you get some real weirdos
trying
to do stuff like that.
You do.
So with failing that, his whole reason for going to California has been scuppered, and so now he has to go back home.
Yeah, but he finds he goes to this party or something to do about etiquette, isn't it?
Etiquette, yeah.
He was trying to learn about what etiquette.
Like good party manners, basically.
Yeah, and obviously he doesn't have any. And he invites a prostitute. They're not very pleased with his etiquette of inviting this lady to their home, who turns up with a midriff showing off, but it's not like it's flat.
No, not the most glamorous model.
No.
At least.
He gets kicked out, and
he'd spent some time with her after being kicked out of the house.
Yeah, he had a good. I think it was the best time he'd had. But that was kind of a sweet scene at the end where he realised actually.
He realises he sort of found love all along with.
But not as you would think. That was actually maybe the most valuable lesson you could teach maybe a teenage boy. Like, oh yeah, she's not the perfect girl. She's not so glamorous and got everything in the right place. But actually she's
the
more ideal, better woman for you. So that it did have actually a value add lesson in there. But
if that's one of the things you can take away from it.
Well, but then if a teenage boy would take it that away from the film is another story.
Right.
Really, I don't think they would. I think they'd be like, oh, do you remember that scene where they were naked and, all that really.
Yeah, probably more so.
Yeah.
Those kind of things.
It was just a lot. It wasn't very coherent with what was happening. It was flitting all over the shop. It had a storyline, but it was very vague.
It's more of a series of sketches more than anything, really, because I had to particularly notice this time, especially at more the start was a lot more like things are moving over quite quickly, skimmed over, going by quite fast, kind of like hanging on like at one particular scene very briefly, and then suddenly on to the next town.
You don't know how you get
location.
You get there, or why he's there, or there's no like background filler.
One particular thing I noticed, I don't know at what point. There's obviously the point when he's on his own and he hitchhikes with those, and then he gets picked up by those guys in the big RV.
Yeah.
And then he pulls out of his bag, because he's on about Pamela Anderson at this point. He pulls out a DVD with a porno of her in, and it's like,
where did he get that from?
Where did he get that from? We never saw that occurring.
You don't see a lot occurring in the film. That's the problem. You kind of just have to second guess. Like there was that. Do you remember that joke? He was like basically on about like his mother-in-law, and then he said obviously he'd slept with her, and he was like, oh, the Americans wouldn't find that funny, and it's like, I don't actually know who this man was that he was talking to at this point, and then helping him out with jokes, and you know that not joke.
Not.
So, but I'm like, I don't even know who that man is or why he's there. What is he?
Are you saying by that you mean he's not developed enough? He's kind of just for this one sketch, right? I'm meeting this guy to learn about whatever.
Yeah.
And then it's like, right, that's done with, next joke.
Yeah, and then
it
was like literally just on to the next, and it just flits. And initially I didn't even know what he was doing really in the movie. I didn't get it, but
because of that, you couldn't hang on a joke too long, could you? You wouldn't be able going through every single joke.
No, but I think maybe a little bit.
Or things like that. You wouldn't want to be. That's the point, because again, it's meant to be for quick.
Which is fine, but maybe
quick laughs, as such.
You could have a story though, still a proper story, and not just try and fire out the dud laughs of like, oh, this will be funny, we'll bung that in, and then you've got like a weird paper mache thing that don't make sense, whereas it's like not coherent, it's not like thought out, it's just like, oh, that's funny, we'll shove that there and shove this there. None of it's like
structured.
Yeah, not one bit. As you can tell, I'm not a big fan.
Interested to know what your rating is on this then.
Pretty poor. I would probably advise nobody to watch it.
Not out of even just brief interest.
If you want to waste 80 minutes of your life and you don't have anything better to do, then by all means go ahead and do it, but...
There is probably a lot worse.
Please don't show me.
No, by that I mean, think about other comedy films that are out there that aren't really comedy.
I just don't think I like comedy. I do like a good laugh, don't get me wrong, but my humour takes a lot to make me laugh.
Really?
Yeah, with it genuinely being funny. I hate acting. I hate it being over funny. Like, they've really put it on. Top. Yeah, and it's like, that just don't make me laugh. Give me a cat doing something funny or a dog that's actually genuine and I'll be in hysterics. But hard worked laughter that's not actually funny because they've overdone it. It's just not me.
The only other things you can take away from what?
I can take away something from this film, can I?
No, it's more because you're saying about how, it's not that funny and it's more the people. The people, as you know, it's just still kind of relevant in America anyway, about how people are ignorant to other cultures.
Yeah. How
they could be racist or homophobic, but I think the main thing being about being intolerant of other cultures.
I think so, but then obviously this was in 2016.
No,
2006,
no,
sorry.
It was not.
So and we're in 2020 now.
It's a different time. Yeah.
So I think maybe that humour might have been funny then as well. Maybe that's another thing. Maybe it's like when they were on about retarded people as well and stuff like that. Retarded. It's like, actually, that's not funny.
No, but they didn't really show anything like that. They were just discussing.
Yeah, but it's like still, it's like that's not a topic where.
Political correctness gone mad. Yeah, you wouldn't be able to get away with.
No, you wouldn't, and I think that's why some of it wasn't as funny as an adult. You don't you understand the
I
context
think
behind it.
for the time it came out, that's why it was quite as popular as it is, and sort of maybe still is. But I wouldn't say it was a period piece as such. But I'm not saying that I watched this and going, oh, I don't really enjoy this anymore. I can still get something out of it, like I say, like some of the things I've time a bit more in depth rather than laughed going, oh, that's funny because he knocked over some plates or he's trying to kiss people or hug them in the street or whatever. So what will you rate this film then?
It's not as bad as I'm probably making it out, but I just personally, for me, I just didn't enjoy it. It was a bit like watching and thinking, can it get any worse? I'm glad it's only 80 minutes. So I'd probably give it maybe... I think this has been personally generous. Mm-hmm. It's the lowest score that I've given so far.
Okay.
And hopefully I don't have to give a lower score next time. 2, for my level of enjoyment. Would I watch it ever again? No. I've seen it.
I don't think...
I'd never watch it again. No. I'd never want to watch it again.
No. I don't think...
No.
Now, I'd need to see it again, though. Not certainly not anytime soon.
It just wasn't funny. I think that's what... I don't know what I expected. I knew it was going to be ridiculously daft. But it wasn't as daft as I thought it was going to be. But it didn't reach my expectations of it being like ridiculously daft. I thought it was going to be like loads of cringe moments, and there was only 2 and they were cringy enough. But I thought it was going to be like that all the way through.
I think that's more difficult to do with a documentary style. You can't do, because you look at some comedy films, but it's because of the way that the filmed and edited together, it's kind of comes across more cringe. But it's hard to do when it's actually supposed to be like a real life situation.
I didn't actually know it was going to be...
It's not, of course, but...
filmed like it was like a documentary. Yeah. I kind of had it in my head that it was going to be something a bit like The In-Betweeners, where it's you kind of cringe but you somewhat secretly love it. And I thought that that's what I got in my head it was going to be. But it wasn't.
Okay.
I didn't think Borat was a lovable character.
No.
Like, in The In-Betweeners, you kind of have got your relatable characters, you know, and you kind of can like somebody, whereas I could just not relate to him whatsoever.
Or sympathise, or...
Yeah. I'm nothing him.
Okay.
And I get attached to characters.
You do?
That's the main reason I like films. I do get emotionally involved, and I had no emotion towards him. The fact that he lost his bear, his friend, and he was just stuck in an ice cream van, I was like, good, you deserve it.
Right. Well, yeah, he's bringing that bear up now, you didn't mention. I thought that's what one of the other things that he got in the thing for protection when he was on his travels in his little ice cream truck because they couldn't afford it because they spent half. Which
looks even worse because it's like basically a typical thing of an ice cream man where it's like, oh, come on kids, get in me van.
Which is one of the jokes because they put the jingle on and then all the kids come running when they put the stuff and the bear comes thing. But yeah.
I love how you're laughing while you're describing that.
I'm laughing because of me or your face going to roll in your eyes.
What would you score it?
I don't even know what I would have scored it back.
10.
No, I wouldn't have scored it 10 back there. Probably not, certainly not that high. I think I'm sort of now maybe in the middle, I think, really.
So why did you make me watch it?
This isn't always just about the thing. This is more about cultural...
What culture did it bring me?
No, of course not. That's not what I mean. I mean, like, like all aspects of things we're covering.
Films, you mean?
Yeah, we're not just doing
countries.
That's what I said on the first one about like just to see your reaction of the things because it's funny you having a rant about. So there's a couple of other little bit of facts before we wrap up on this. Apparently, the police were called 92 times during production by various American
That's quite funny.
Sniper
That's
shoe.
actually funnier than the film. I like that fact, the fact that there's this weird, scary man walking around America, frightening all the citizens, and actually people being genuinely scared and worried about his actions.
Yeah.
That's funny, that is.
On a similar note, the FBI assigned a team
Did they think he was a terrorist?
to the project while filming, due to reports of apparently a Middle Eastern man in an ice cream truck in the areas.
And what's the other fact then?
That Todd Phillips was involved in the writing of this, who's, the guy who's directed Hangover and Due Date and most recently Joker, which is kind of strange.
Well, obviously he's improved anyways, that's...
Yeah. But
definite.
looking into it a bit more, is also he was actually the original director.
Borat.
Yeah, but he left due to creative differences. So
Don't blame him. It is a pile of crap. And the other ones seem quite... Hangover, yeah. That actually I find funny. There is cringe moments in there, but it is funny. And obviously the Joker, he's a complete different kettle of fish.
Yeah.
Due Date,
Oh, that's awful. I didn't really like that one at all. You're about characters you don't like. Yeah.
Who do you like?
Robert Downey Jr.'s character.
I know I have seen it, but I can't remember it. It's obviously not stayed with me.
Exactly, yeah.
So, but I just think they thought, oh, Alan from The Hangover's doing really well. Everyone loves him. Let's just bug him on in another film. Yeah, so.
So there we have it. There's 2-star review.
Yep, hopefully it can't get any worse than that.
No, not for a while. We'll take a break from really bad ones and try and pick a good one for next time.
Yeah, a little bit more light-hearted maybe.
Nah.
Thanks everyone for listening to my review. I know I've had a big rant for about God knows how long on this film.
And you were worried you didn't have content to talk about.
Once I get going, then you can't stop me. I just ramble on. There's not much content in the film really to go on. There's just more what annoyed me. That's basically what I've said for this review.
But I think that makes for good, interesting audio.
It shouldn't be what films Sophie hasn't seen. It should be what films annoy Sophie.
Well, thank you very much for listening. Be sure to like and subscribe to our channel. You can find us on iTunes and Spotify now. Thank you once again, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Bye.